What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. We have just gotten some news on Phase 2 of the Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary, and you'll be happy Blizzard did listen. There's some changes coming with Phase 2, and to be completely honest, I really don't think this could look much better. This is pretty much what everyone, including myself, has been talking about for the past month, maybe even longer than that. You know, everyone was kind of up in the air, didn't know what to expect with Phase 2, what was going on with the loot dropping, right? There was some people complaining that this is a faster version of the Burning Crusade, and we're getting the same amount of loot per boss. It didn't make sense. Well, Blizzard listened, they reviewed all this feedback, probably watched a bunch of videos of people like me being like, I don't know if this is a good idea, and they made some changes. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to dive into this blue post. Let me pull it up over here on my main screen for us so that you guys can see it as well. So this is the original blue post on the forums posted by Kyvax, and we're going to read through this entire thing. So in the post, it says, later this week, the Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary PTR will open for testing the Overlords of Outland update. This update will include all of the content and features players expect from the second phase of Burning Crusade, as well as some additional adjustments we're making. This is where it gets pretty juicy. So, Tier 5 raids, raid testing schedule. If you do want to jump on the PTR and test out these raids, you have from May 1st, this Friday, through Sunday, May 3rd. I myself will definitely be on there, probably Saturday night, most likely, and I'll be streaming it. So if you want to check out the raids that are coming and watch us go through them, you can do that on twitch.tv/hammerdance, shameless plug. The raid difficulty. So, over the last couple of months, we have carefully reviewed player progress and completion data for the first raid tier of Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary. We've found that the post-nerf difficulty has met and in some ways exceeded our expectations. We've concluded that the upcoming test of the Eye and Serpent Shrine Cavern on the PTR will use a similar post-nerf raid difficulty tuning. Now, basically what they're saying there is, wow, there's a lot of people raiding in TBC, and that's because it's post-nerf. If it was pre-nerf, we would have seen a major drop-off by now. And as you guys probably already know, the raid logs have not dipped one bit. They peaked and we're staying at the peak. People are not stopping raiding. So that's a really good sign. And Blizzard looked at that data and they were like, okay, people are really enjoying the raids in this state. Let's just keep this going forward. And I think this is a massive W. I think this is exactly what we needed. I know a lot of people in the comments are going to say we need a toggle for pre-nerf, post-nerf, whatever. Blizzard has stated in the past that anything to do with Classic and these versions of the game, they are not really open to the toggle thing. I'm not really sure why. I personally think it wouldn't really hurt anything either. But again, if there is a toggle and, you know, let's say the pre-nerfed state of the raid gets extra loot, that is going to be like the standard. That's what everyone's going to want you to be doing anyway, right? So I can kind of see why they wouldn't want to put it in. But nonetheless, really good news. Post-nerf raids coming for the next phase. That's going to be amazing for a lot of guilds. That's not all, though. So let's move on to the next part of this article. Drop rates increased. So, in 2022, we made a change to Burning Crusade Classic to increase the loot drops from certain 25-player bosses with the launch of Phase 3. That was in 2022. For Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary, which is what we're playing now, we've decided to make that change with the launch of Phase 2, so an entire phase earlier. Now, what this means for us as the players, in Gruul's Lair, High King Mulgar will now drop 3 tokens for Tier 4 shoulder pieces instead of 2, and Gruul the Dragon Killer will now drop 3 tokens for Tier 4 leg pieces instead of 2. So 1 extra tier token for High King and for Gruul. So altogether for Gruul, you're going to get 2 more pieces of tier, which, to be honest, is amazing. For Magtheridon's Lair, again, Magtheridon will now drop 3 tokens for Tier 4 chest instead of 2, so upped it by 1. Pretty much going through this, they've upped everything by 1, but here's where it gets really interesting. Serpent Shrine Cavern and Tempest Keep, they also did the same thing. Lady Vash, Leothrius the Blind, Fathom Lord Carathres, all of the bosses inside Serpent Shrine Cavern and Tempest Keep on launch are going to be dropping 3 tier tokens instead of 2, which is major because if you take a look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bosses, okay? 10 bosses in the next phase that are all going to be dropping 1 extra piece of gear per week. That's 10 extra pieces of gear per week. So, in my opinion, that's a lot of extra gear. It really is. I mean, that is insane. Now, I know a lot of people are going to sit here and probably complain about the changes for maybe Gruul, right? Where they only upped it for tier tokens. So like you're not going to have like more chances at getting DST. And to be completely honest, I get why they did this. You know, like if DSTs were dropping left and right, what'll happen is your guild will probably be facing the roster boss a lot sooner, right? Because if people are getting full bis super quick, they're going to log off, they're going to quit, they don't want to play till the next phase or whatever. So, you know, having DST in the game, whether it's on a badge vendor for like 300 badges or, you know, only dropping from Gruul, it does give people that incentive to keep playing. It's that trinket that everyone wants. Everyone's chasing it, right? So they want to log in, they want to play, they want their chances at that trinket. And I do think that in some ways is a good thing. But in the next phase, in Serpent Shrine Cavern, it is not only for tier tokens, and I want to make sure you guys understand this. So for Lady Vash, for Leothris the Blind, Fathom Lord Carathres, those are tier pieces, okay? So it's going to drop one extra tier piece. But for Hydros, the Lurker Below, and Morogrim Tidewalker, you're going to have a chance at getting another... You're not a chance, you're going to get an extra piece of epic gear from them. So it's pretty cool. Instead of just 2 pieces of gear, you're going to get 3 from those bosses. So it's not only for the tier tokens moving into this next phase and the next, you know, set of raids. And the same thing goes for Tempest Keep, right? Kel'Thas and Void Reaver, those are going to be, you know, your extra tier token off of them. And then for Astromancer and Alar, you're going to be getting an extra piece of just regular epic gear. So I think all in all, it's pretty good. And then they have this one-liner down at the bottom where they say, we will plan to make other Phase 3 loot changes to heroic dungeon bosses in Phase 3. Thank you for helping us test the next phase of Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary. We will plan to make other Phase 3 loot changes to heroic dungeon bosses in Phase 3. What does this mean? Now, this could mean a few different things, right? This could mean that they're going to update the loot, maybe, on the bosses. When Phase 3 comes out, maybe heroic dungeons are going to drop, like, Phase 1 and 2 epics from the raids. This could mean that maybe they're going to implement some sort of a currency like they did the last time around with like the Gamma dungeons and all that, where you farm up a currency and you're able to buy like trinkets and things like that, that you hadn't gotten, kind of as like some sort of a catch-up mechanic. I'm not really sure what this means, and I'd actually love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you make of this? We'll say one more time. We will plan to make our other Phase 3 loot changes to heroic dungeon bosses in Phase 3. Personally, I think what this means is they're looking into possibly doing those like Gamma dungeons, right? That like slight like Mythic Plus type of dungeon content that really wasn't hard at all. It actually was very fun. And I could see them doing something like that. I think it would be a great idea as some sort of a catch-up mechanic, right? Now, if we're moving into Black Temple and Hyjal, you haven't got your DST yet, maybe you need to farm up 300 of whatever that currency is from those heroics, and then you could buy your DST. At that point in time, I think that would be a really good thing because there's so many raids in the game by that point. You'd have, you know, Gruul, Mag, Kara, SSC, TK, Hyjal, and Black Temple by that phase. That's a lot of raids. Like, no normal person is going to have the time to do all of those raids, right? So at that time, I do think some sort of catch-up would be great, and maybe that's what it means. Again, I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But overall, I think this is a massive W. Blizzard did listen to a lot of the feedback, and they are making changes, so big W, Blizzard, if you're watching this video. Awesome changes. I'm super into it. Guys, that's really it. That's all I wanted to go over with you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time we post a video. If you guys want to hang out with me live, I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/hammerdance. Drop me a follow over there. There'll be a link in the description and in the comments below. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.